Hey everyone, welcome to Figure Friday week 36. In this week, we are going to discuss the locker room in New York City dataset, LockerNYC Reservations, a fairly new initiative in New York City to allow people to use lockers and reserve lockers to send and receive packages from. You can see here a pilot program. And so the data set is here. And like always, we had a sample histogram or sample graph, and then a sample with the code that you can replicate, and then a sample map that was created by Plotly Studio of the different locations of the lockers on a scatter map. So people ran with it. People loved it. Mike, thank you for the first one in responding here with some pictures of the same thing in Ukraine, which you said has been there this system has been around for a few years, you said, right?
At least 5.
At least 5, yeah. So New York City.
And the New York initiative might be a good one to head off some of the problems maybe here because maybe there'll be too many of these boxes all over the place.
Wait, what problem is Ukraine facing with this system?
Well, not a problem yet, but everyone's putting in their own boxes everywhere.
Oh, it's
and so
like
the New York Locker is like a consolidated effort.
Oh, yeah.
And it achieves the goal of reducing carbon emissions.
Yeah.
By fewer deliveries.
Yeah.
All just independent companies.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So maybe it'll work better with New York City. We'll see. And then Chris shared here just a simple prompt, timeline chart per package, and how he later on developed it, modified the prompt to include a couple of other suggestions. So what happened here is that Chris, let me see, Alex joined us. Alex, let me mute you. Mute. Okay. Hey, Alex, welcome.
Hey, thank you.
Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning, Mike.
Mike.
Hello.
Good morning. Okay, so I'm just going to finish this presentation here. So what Chris did, most likely, he fed the data set to Plotly Studio. And initially, Plotly Studio just came up. He didn't give it any special instructions at the beginning. And initially, Plotly Studio came up with this timeline chart, right, per package. But what Chris wanted to do is to modify it. And Chris is very good with prompting. So he added these prompts. Look at the difference between the two. Well, let me show you the prompt first. Here's the prompt. Timeline chart per package, include options. So you just added like 4 bullet points. Options for absolute dates, options to sort, and then draw a line to connect each timeline and different symbols for each event. Just by adding these 4 lines, look at the difference between this timeline chart and this one right here. Amazing, right? Just a lot easier to read. So we have this packages, and you can see, I guess we need the legend here. There's still something we can, this is
it was there somewhere. It's very good icons.
Yeah, it's really, and he didn't even specify what icons he wanted. Really interesting.
There somewhere.
So that is an example that Chris, there's another one, yeah. Create, receive, deliver, drawn, and either here are the 2 drop downs. Wow. Here's the full complete chart, I guess. Timeline. It's just amazing how just a few lines of code you can this would take me hours to code. And this is like minutes in English. All right. And then we have Alex that created a chart. Danny, Mike, and Esther. Esther is probably watching us live, although she can't be here right now. So before I give it to Alex, who's the first one to create it, Mike, I want to pass it to you. Let me unshare.
Okay.
I wanted to pass it to you because you mentioned something about when we first talked here before Alex joined. We talked about the data that you found. You found something wrong with the data. Do you want to share that?
Okay. Yeah, just it's a small thing.
I think you stopped sharing screen, so you have to share a screen again.
Share screen, entire screen, allow. Okay, let me know when you can see it.
Well, you just share. Yeah, okay. Okay, now we see it.
I've seen some pickup duration in this column. I'm not sure if Alex or Mike, you found this or not. Some pickup durations are like 1 minute, 1 minute going down. And those can be, I think there was direct. There was some direct ones as well. Let's take a 0 minutes. This is obviously direct, and then it's not received. Okay, but there was other situations. But in general, there's a lot of these at 1 minute, 2 minutes. I'm wondering, how can people pick up a package so fast? And then there's more.
I had a thought about that, was that people, maybe they get to the locker and they, there's the time when their credit card clears. Maybe they have to make a payment before they can remove the package. So they make a payment, and then 1 minute later, the locker is opened and they can remove their goods.
That's what I thought too. So I was just started doing some general. I'm working with SQL, practicing my SQL, just getting it better. And I did just a general. I learned a roll-up feature in PostgreSQL, which is kind of cool. So I can get a total here as well. 12,057, the important number, received and direct. I did a base query on this pickup duration column. What's the average? 50 minutes, 40 seconds. Okay, that's cool. I grouped them in buckets. And it came out to be a total 1257, again, the matching number. 0 to 30 minutes, 9,200, 9,257, 1 to 5, 5. Like, wait, where's 30 to 60 minutes? Right here, I have it. How come it's not here? So I grouped them again. I forced it to display zeros, and there it is, 0. I'm like, wait, how can that be? 0 to 30 to 60 minutes. I double checked, can't be 0. I went to the date columns now, withdrawn and delivered. I used the date columns, not the what was it? What did I say? It was the
Product delivery.
Pickup duration, where it was already calculated for you. So I went there and I found, used the withdrawn date, delivered date, and sure enough, 710 results when they should be 0.
I have another theory about that, Mike, which is that they probably mismanaged how they bin these things. And so I would consider renaming the 0 to 30 bin as 0 to 1 hour and just getting rid of the ones with zeros, because technically.
Okay, well, let me continue just really quickly.
All right.
I tried another way of querying 710 again. So I said, let's inspect some of the rows. And so I looked at some of the rows received on the 10th of April. We got 1832 time. That's the delivered and then withdrawn, I think. Yeah, 1832 to 1914. So we got 42 minutes.
Yeah.
But in the duration column, I believe it's 41 seconds.
Oh.
And so using only the date and time fields, I redid it. And sure enough, 3060 came out 710. There was 6 extra uncategorized. They were null fields, no big deal. So I believe just in some of these, there was 710 entries. There were, and we just, and I do a vision. Finally, I inspected here also. Where was it? This is the original data, unmodified, nothing. Here's this entry, 1832, that's 6:32 p.m. 1914, 7:14 p.m., 41 minutes. And sure enough, I don't know what this field pickup duration is, says 41, but I believe this is milliseconds, seconds, hours. I believe this is seconds, because this has to be minutes and this has to be hours, right? Is that correct? Hours.
That makes sense.
Seconds, milliseconds. I don't know what would be beyond hours, if anything beyond hours. So
I might be days, hours, minutes, seconds, maybe.
Millisecond. These are milliseconds.
So either
Exactly.
milliseconds here, or maybe this is days, as Mike says. I don't know. I don't
Mm,
think it could be mixed days, but who knows?
No, I don't think it could be mixed days.
no. It's
Well,
hour.
ask yourself this question: is there any? If you take the second column, which if it is an hour, if it's days and then hours, you should see hours that range from 0 to 23, right? And it looks like that may hold.
We'll see. I don't know. Maybe something screwed up. You see here, this is a date and time with PM, AM, and PM, and I used mine converted to military time, of course. In as you can see, 1914. Maybe something in there. I don't know, but we can calculate 1832 to 1914. That is 42 minutes.
Yeah.
But I didn't touch this column. So anyways, that was 710 entries. So that's the only finding that I found this week.
So you fixed it. You fixed it, Mike, by not disregarding that column and calculating the time on your own with date delivered and date. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
That's good data analysis.
Mike, that's a good approach, by the way. When you have a case where you're given like the start time, the end time, and then they give you the calculated duration, that's definitely a good way to validate the data.
Yeah.
Mhm.
To confirm that it's correct.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Mike. Thank you. What do we have next here on the post? Alex, would you like to share?
Mike.
Mike, would you like to share?
No.
Yeah.
That I don't have a. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike. Apologies.
No. You're still on the.
No, I'm done.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead, the other Mike.
Okay. Let me go ahead and share here.
Google
last
Mike,
time
Mike, the one. It's the work to be done. Exactly.
Okay,
Spend time cleaning the data, understanding the data.
Yeah.
Really good.
By the way, the time you spend cleaning this data, in my view, is very, very well spent. You'll end up with a better dashboard, better visualization, or whatever. But can you see my screen?
No, not yet.
Not yet. 1 second. Okay, now we see it.
Okay, that's great. Let me pull this up. This app is already uploaded to Plotly Cloud, but I like to present it from the Python view. So I spend a lot more time cleaning these data sets than actually working on the dashboards, which is a nice place to be because the dashboards are sometimes easier than the data themselves.
What do you prefer doing, Mike? Do you prefer the data cleaning, data EDA exploration, or do you prefer building the dashboards personally?
Well, I like them both, Adam, and I think they just have to go hand in hand. I mean, even with Plotly Studio, you're well advised to clean some of your data, get rid of some of the data that you're not going to use. Yeah. Don't confuse the dashboard at all, or the AI tool. But when I went through this data set and I did a lot of exploratory analysis, I realized that I wasn't interested so much in the specific delivery times or durations because I didn't see enough variability in that data to interest me. And to quote a famous author I like named Matt Harrison, he always says that when you make these reports, you're usually making this for your boss, right? And if you work in a candy store and the boss comes in and says, "How was your day today?" You wouldn't say like Susie came in and bought a Tootsie Roll at 11 and Paul came in and bought this at 11:30. You would kind of aggregate the data and summarize it. And I try to do that. So what I found interesting about this data set was really the geographic information spread over Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens. There were really only 33 unique locations, so I focused on those. And the top is a filter. You can pick one or all of the boroughs. This is not really so useful when you have a smaller number of values in there, but still, it's you can still highlight, get a feel for where these boroughs are located in the greater New York City area. So I took these and I basically replicated the hover information on the top cards, but I'm generally trying to stick to a format where I'll do maybe 4 visualizations for one of these dashboards. And so in this case, I've got the map libre of Manhattan with all the locations. The boroughs are color coded, and the size is based upon the total number of locker rentals at a given location. And so when I hover over any location, I get this histogram on the lower left that gives me the composition, how many locker rentals were there by size. And there's one location, I forget where, that has extra large. Yeah, this one. They've got extra large lockers. Don't know what they are. And then the right side, Adam, you commented on this one, and I appreciate that. This lower right is a graph of cumulative rental activity by locker size, by location. So if I go this big one in the Lower East Side, Manhattan, you can see how the, oops, it's not sticky enough. You can see where the small lockers were continuing to rise linearly, and not so much activity on these large, extra large, and mediums. There were a few places in the data set where it looks like they even stopped supporting anything but the small lockers, and it kind of makes sense because they don't get much business on anything beyond small.
And they're probably cheaper, right? The small lockers.
Yeah, they're probably cheaper, right? I mean, you wouldn't pay more money for a larger locker if you didn't need the size. So on this visualization on the lower right, I got rid of the legend and just used an automated annotation to attach to the end of the graph, and that's working pretty well. But so if I was living in New York City and I wanted to find a place to get a locker for like an Amazon delivery or something, I could peruse this map and find the closest one to where I was staying. And I could also look at other factors like maybe I want a locker that's in a busy location. Maybe I want a locker that's indoors instead of outdoors. So somebody could explore around this map and maybe help them find what they're needing.
Nice.
One of my data cleaning was like cleaning up these addresses. Everything here is Brooklyn, Manhattan, or Queens. They're all within New York City. They're all within New York State. So in the address, I kind of clipped out that city information. I just go with the name of the facility that has the lockers.
How'd you do that? Did you use regular expression for clipping the name?
I'll show you that. It was pretty easy, actually. It was just splitting the string.
Okay.
I think I took everything up to the first space.
First string before the comma.
Yeah, where was that? Okay, I did all this stuff. I replaced the column names with uppercase. I did these changes to the SML and XL.
Nice.
And what did I do here? The zip code is the end of the address. So I split on the space and took the last item here. That's the easy way to get the zip code. I actually didn't do anything with the zip code after it, but the address is the same thing, more or less. Take the initial address column, split it on the comma, and then take the first item from the list that it produces. So
Nice.
that's a pretty clean way to do it.
Simple and clean.
So that's really about it. I mean, it's a simple dashboard. It's a good data set, Adam. You picked very well this week.
Mike, thank you. Let us see the app for a second again. The only thing I would say in the app is user experience-wise, Mike, I kind of prefer when I was going into Esther's app, I think she had the map as well, I would click on the dot that I was interested in on the place, and then things would interact, would update. In your case, it's the hover, and I don't know why. It's just a personal thing. It doesn't mean you have to change it, but I personally prefer the click over the hover because sometimes when there's a lot of dots, I inevitably have to go through some dots to reach another one, and I don't want all the information of the other one in the meantime.
That's a good comment, Adam. And I could make a table and to just click on a location, and that's a very good suggestion. And the other thing I want to say, Adam, we talked a few minutes ago about how much time we spend cleaning this data. So the other thing I spend a lot of time with, and I'm starting to get the hang of it, but I got a long way to go, is once you get a functioning dashboard, there's only so far you would take it for a weekly exercise like this, but in the real work, there are so many ways to improve and change the style and the usability. And I spend a lot of time on that, mainly because I'm pretty indecisive and I don't have enough experience to really do this well the first time. But that's really what I value about doing these dashboards every week, is that it gets me better at this stuff. But your comment, Adam, is very, very well taken.
And I think in that case, it's fairly simple, if I remember correctly. You probably have in the callback, Mike, hover.
Yes.
Hover data. So you just change that to click data, and I think the data type should be the same.
Oh, hover, and you can actually click on the hover point, or click.
What I mean is, like right now, you hover over it, and it updates the graph, right? Perfect.
Yep.
But try, instead of hover, which in the callback is called hover data, but that belongs to it's the component of the map. But if you change that to click data, then hovering won't do anything. Only once you click it, it will change.
I see. I will try that. I didn't even realize that you had a click component
data,
of the callback from the map. But that's a great tip. I think I would like that much better.
Cool. Alex, Mike, anything else you see in this app? Any comments?
Well, I like it. I like it the way you build your app, specifically the bottom and the information about the locker name. I like it. And also, what is the most I likely was the cumulative line, because the cumulative line, you can see, in fact, exactly how you say the size, the X size is the most preferred, but also exactly when this type of locker started using the other sizes, M and L. It's very interesting. It's very interesting because it's not from the beginning. Right. Maybe, as you say, this was a pilot program. Maybe because of the budget, money, I don't know, the cost, people is using first the small, and this is, you can see here, it's very interesting. I really like it. Well done. And also, I agree with Adam, basically with Clip, but this made the worst. It's exactly, you can find valuable information here. In fact, what I did with my dashboard, you will see, I have to do it in this way along the whole dashboard. I didn't, but really cool, really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I will give that a try. And the last thing I'll say about this is I'm just reading a book this morning about effective data visualization methods. And in this book I'm reading, it's actually not being released for another week, but the author would say 99% of the time they turn off the grid lines. And I certainly like to follow that practice, but just having no grid lines on these two graphs on the bottom, to me, that makes it a lot cleaner. And most of the time, the grid lines are just kind of noise. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but sometimes I add vertical lines or horizontal lines for specific major points, but this kind of clean, just a graph, you don't have the exact lining up, but you've got the hover, and mainly the graphs like this are really showing trends over time.
The trend. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could argue that the exact magnitude of these points is not really that important. Like this end one is 490, but I mean, who
Yeah.
cares if it's 450 or 500? You kind of see the pattern, right?
Yeah, I think you're right, Mike. Like in this case, the grid lines are not necessary. Even in the bar chart there, the grid lines are not necessary. Maybe if you had a bar chart with like 12 different markers and they're very fairly close to each other, you would want the grid lines, because if it's very horizontal and very
Yeah.
wide, then the bar chart all the way to the right, wait, is it 200? It's hard to know without a grid line what it is. But it's not needed here.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with this author I read who said like 99% of the time, maybe that's an exaggeration, but I would say in my case, the vast majority of the time, I try not to use grid lines.
Cool. All right. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Good comments, everybody. I really appreciate it.
Beautiful app, good visualizations, nice summary cards. All right. Alex, do you want me to share screen? Alex? Alex? I think we lost him. Let me share his screen and I can start talking about what Alex did until he comes back.
Alex, are you on mute? Oh.
Alex, you're back?
Yes, I'm here.
We lost you for like a minute. We didn't see you move.
Ah, imagine. No. Can you please share, Adam?
Yeah, I'm sharing right now. 1 second.
Okay. I know what happened. I have a problem with my. Okay, perfect. Well, basically here it's not a simple dashboard or simple dashboard base. Here, what I like it to do was mainly exactly this is the type of data we have here is geospatial data, and also it's interesting to see exactly what happened, trend line, what happened in timing with this locker. And base try to find granularity. The first thing, can you go, I don't know, here we can get, then at the top, you can see the card, the normal card that summarize the total reservation, the total receive, the percentage, the success rates, the average delivery duration, and the average pickup duration. This is all obviously based on all the whole borrow and the total reservation. We can select in the filter, we can select borrow, and we can see exactly what Adam is doing based on in the map exactly emphasize what are the locker in that borrow, and also all here on the top you can see exactly the summary in the card. You can select one in this part. You can select one borrow, and on the right side you will see the locker details. In this case, the locker is the owner, I don't know, and the number of reservation, the receive, the success rate, maybe because just two, and also the specific data based on this locker. I try to put some recommendation, basic recommendation, and based on the percentile. That's it. It's not rocket science. Only using percentile to see that manually, and you can change based on the output of this type of the result that you see here. Also, we can change filter by locker size, and also
Alex, we lost you again. Hopefully you'll get back to us. Medium, small, we can change all locker sizes. Only extra large, I think, only exists in Manhattan. Interesting point.
I'm here.
Alex, you're back. We lost you.
I don't know what happened with my with my internet. Okay, perfect here.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Then we also, it's very interesting, I get using the range slider to see exactly basic, specific, more that give more granularity to see how if each of the locker move is one, if like 140 months, I think. But it's interesting to see exactly how these data move and locker the behavior of the locker alongside the day. Then I put a the train line analysis, the trend analysis that basically is a reservation by day of week, by hour. I select a dwell time and on delivery versus pickup duration. Base here is exactly is not one locker that is that's one thing that it is the whole locker in this bottle. It's not one locker specific. One very cool thing would be here exactly as my did. Select one locker and see exactly the behavior
Where
or select two lockers.
Alice, how can I select one locker here?
No, you cannot.
Oh.
You cannot. In this node, that's it's an improvement area in this case. In this node, because it's the whole, the overall for each bottle. Then exactly, well, this is basically what I did. It's not base exactly the granularity that I like to see. Select, for instance, Manhattan or Queens, or and see exactly how the behavior of every. You get here, for instance, in Manhattan, the 14. Really see the this you were talking about the lines. In this case, I said the grid lines. I in this case sometimes I like it. Why? Because it's you can see, for instance, the higher values exactly between what count is this case between 12 1,400 1,400. Yeah. You can see the difference exactly. In this case, not all the time. In fact, not all the time. If you put the X scale grid line and the Y scale grid line, and this is other problem. But basically, this is what I like to do. And then the dual time is let's see
Alex, we lost him again. Huh. I don't know. Do you either of you know what the dwell time distribution means?
That I don't.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the time that the package remains in the locker. Because usually, if you get notified that you've ordered a package and it's in a specific locker, like an Amazon outlet or something, right? Typically, you're not going to take a week to go pick up what you bought, right? You want to get it as soon as possible.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, Alex, you're back.
You're back.
I'm back. Yes, exactly. The dual time, I try to exactly a distribution. I to see exactly if something appear or something like that, and also the last chart was delivery versus pickup, and basically you will see here exactly that all is closer to zero, because as Mike said, that there is no, you are not going to take 1 week or something like that to pick up a package or something like that, and this comparison is I think this interesting to see exactly if there is a gap, for instance, this point here in delivery versus pickup. That's it. That's basically what I try to do. A lot of improvement area, of course, a lot of things to improve. But
Alex, you discovered two insights that escaped me. Was this chart by day of week is very interesting. I'm not surprised there's a disparity between weekends and weekdays, but I didn't expect it to be this much. And with your insight, I learned from it. That's very good. I'm not sure why Monday is so busy, but
Monday is really busy.
It's
and
really
the other
busy.
thing you showed me was what was that? The time of day metric as well, right? And it makes sense, but it's a good sanity check on the data that most of your activities between like 10 in the morning and 8 p.m. or something like that. That makes all
Exactly.
sense too.
Exactly.
Um,
It may be, I don't know if maybe change depend on the bottle. And in this case, it's interesting to, for instance, did what you did, Mike, to add more granularity, exactly selecting just one locker name
yeah.
to see exactly the behavior. Maybe very
One
interesting.
thing that would be interesting, as somebody I know a little bit about New York City, not as much as Adam does, but looking at the lockers that are in the gooder neighborhoods versus places that have higher crime rates, you probably see more of a 24/7 operation in the better
Uh,
areas and maybe daytime only in
Exactly,
other parts.
exactly. And maybe you can also build an application exactly based on where you are talking about. Well, this is closer. I'm going to imagine that you are going to travel to New York and you want to make a rent or something like that, and you select the hotel closer to one of these
Yeah.
to see exactly this type of scene is interesting to do with a map. And
And
basically,
the reason for these lockers in the first place, right? Most people would rather have a package come directly to their home, but if they live in a place where they can't accept the package in the middle of the day, they don't want it to get stolen. In my neighborhood, we have people who follow the Amazon trucks and they just pick up the packages that are delivered and steal them.
Really?
So, oh yeah, we call them the porch pirates. And yeah, package theft is really common, especially to just individual households, right? There's a bunch of packages sitting in front of the door, somebody takes them away. So that's why these lockers are so valuable.
And they could be at business centers or near your work location where it's convenient just at lunchtime to pick up something.
Yeah, absolutely. But at least
no, go ahead, Mike.
at least it's all secure, right? I mean,
Security.
the delivery gets put in a locked locker and you're able to get it safely.
Yes, one question. This is a pilot program. I have seen in movies, for instance, that at the train station have locker, for instance, that the bandit going to pick up something or something like that. And this type of locker, exactly what is the objective, the function? Because what is the difference between both? For instance,
I've used those lockers in like train stations. I rented a locker at Grand Central one time, and usually what happens is if you're in a city with a lot of luggage, and you want to spend a few hours sightseeing, you want to leave your heavy bag somewhere for a couple hours.
But what would you say is the difference, Mike, between that and then these lockers?
Well, I don't know 100%, but I'm guessing that these lockers are for you buy something online, and let's say you live in an apartment or you're single, and nobody's going to be home during the day to accept that package, and you don't want it just sitting on a stoop. Maybe you don't have a doorman, so you have it delivered to a secure locker that you can pick up when you're available, and knowing that your purchase doesn't get carried away by somebody who doesn't own it.
But the points of this this pilot project were to reduce traffic, also for deliveries, and to reduce carbon emissions as well in New York, which is very good goals to do this as well. Because traffic is.
Yeah, that's a fair point, but I don't think that's really the essence of it, because the people who buy something are the ones who would say, okay, either deliver it to my home or deliver it to one of these locker facilities. And I think people in that scenario, they're not really thinking about, the carbon footprint or anything. They're just thinking about what gives me the best chance of getting my package.
But even better, if we're able to get something that the people like and use, and at the same time it reduces carbon footprint, that's even better.
That's a good thing.
And traffic.
No, it's interesting, this type of pilot program. It's very interesting, and compare exactly. This is like MVP, no? You compare exactly what exists versus what is new. It's very interesting.
But there was a lot of usage from your apps and visualizations. Seems to be like a lot, even what you data analysis you did, Mike. It seems to be a lot of usage, and people should continue with this program, or at least the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I seriously doubt that's the motivation behind it, though. It's a good unintended consequence, but when somebody's
It's on
buying
their
something
website.
online, all they're thinking about is, you want something that's cheap and convenient, but most important, you don't want something that's going to show up at your apartment door and then be taken away by somebody who doesn't own it. And
The pricing model is interesting too. Did you guys look at the pricing model?
No. What does that look like?
There's 3 prices on their website: $0 for pickup within 24 hours, $5 within 72 hours, and then it's $20 per month, up to 10 packages and up to 72 hours pickup. So depending on how much volume you do per month or whatever you choose.
That's good.
So you can have it for free if you pick it
for
up.
free.
That's a good incentive, and that also.
But I bet also a lot of those free turn into $5.
Yeah.
People planned on picking up today, and then it just actually I forgot I didn't make it today.
Yeah,
exactly.
Which is fine.
So.
Which is fine, exactly.
Yeah.
But really good.
Well, it was definitely a good data set. I'm glad I found it. One of my colleagues, if it wasn't Greg, or somebody suggested it to me, so I'm glad they suggested it to me. I already posted the Figure Friday week 37. It was about an hour ago, I think, and it's going to be with Esther. Actually, helped me find this data set, an Amazon sales data set, a small one, so it's easier to work with, and
under 2 billion for Amazon.
Yeah, we don't have the full Amazon data set. You mean?
No,
this is a small one this time.
Small one. Okay.
Yeah, folks. So that's for week 37. Stay tuned. We are going to launch a hackathon next week on Monday. So stay tuned for that, for practicing and building stuff with Plotly Studio. And that's it for this week.
Have a nice weekend, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a nice weekend. Enjoy it.
Ciao.
You guys too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.